2000 Sydney Olympics, Indian performance was very bad. At that time, Prime Minister Mr. Bajpayee called then Army Chief and told him specifically, besides what Army does, I want you to also train Indians for Olympic, and next 8 years we want Olympic medal. Since I was that time commanding Indian regiment in Kargil operations, and you have been selected as first commandant to man Army Sports Institute. Well, I'm Major General Mohd Amin Naik. I was born on 25th September 1953 in a village called Dadasara, which is the biggest village in Tral Tehsil of Kashmir. Now it is Pulwama district. My father was a coordinating officer for refugees. Thereafter we came into Srinagar in 64. Srinagar, I was lucky to join a school called CMS school, or Abisku school in short, which is a missionary school. In the school I must mention some of the things which were there. One was every Wednesday we had a regatta of 4 houses. We had 4 houses named against 4 mountains of Kashmir. And one of the race which is engraved into my mind was called sinking race. The race was, we used to start the race. At the center, pre-designated place, we would get an indicator by the judge. We had to sink the boat, turn it upside down, show the bottom, turn it back, remove water, get back into the boat, and then finish the race. So this gave me the confidence of being with the water. School also taught me a lot of adventure. And I give this credit to my principal, then Mr. J.M. Ray, he was Scottish, who was used to and was very fond of mountaineering, go from one valley to another valley. And my group used to be with him most of the time. So this showed me some of the most beautiful places in Kashmir, and it's truly said, if there is heaven in the world, it is here, it is here, it is here, because you can see all colors possible anywhere. Then the lakes, if you see the lake, see the water of the lake is so blue, or at places where it's very cold, it's green. So these natural colors in the mountains is what gave me that lust, the love for the nature, to be there, love for the ecology, to man and maintain it so that it is not degraded as is happening today. Now from this school we organized an expedition in 1969, and remember, to a mountain called Kola High, and it was led then by Major C.S. Nagyal. He was instructor in Halchur Warfare School, and his deputy that time was later on retired Brigadier Prem Chand from Dogras. And that is where I got motivated that if I have to do anything in my future life, I had to join army. So between schools and college, there is a gap of about 3 months. So thanks to my principal, J.M. Ray, he told me, why don't you spend some time and teach our junior school? And that is when I taught my own school junior classes, and I got my first earning. And you'll be surprised, the first thing I bought was what we used to call it hunter shoe. Hunter shoe was a shoe which you wear for climbing mountains, going for treks, because that was my love for mountains. The 3rd January 1973, I reported Dehradun Indian Military Academy. And I cannot forget my first day in IMA, because the moment we got down from the vehicle, we had a senior battalion under officer, and for something he said, start front rolling. So I used to be quite a strong man in my college, but hearing something like telling me do the front rolling was something a new phenomena for me. What is this? Somebody is telling me to front roll. Thereafter he said, okay, where is your tie? And to be very frank, till that time I had never worn a tie, because it is not the custom in Kashmir to wear tie. We wear mufflers. But within few weeks of my stay in IMA, Because of my sports, thanks to my school and my college, I was virtually playing every sport, that is starting from basketball to volleyball to football to hockey to swimming. Remember any time when I didn't think and thank myself for having come there? Was the type of people you met who had come from RIMC, who had come from Sainik School, who had come from NDA, who had come from NCC entry, who had come from technical entry, and people like me who were direct entry. And all people had different ethos, different values, different things, and all of this became one in IMA. Having got commission in a super block of IMA, for a person like me who had no background of army, who had no relation in the army, who were coming from an area where people never joined army, never thought of joining army, being part of first super block was rare. So I was given Corps of Engineers. In the Corps of Engineers, I got Bombay Sapper. But that time we thought that all film Bombay, all actresses and actors are there, so we'll go and meet them every day. So if you're in Pune, Pune is where the Bombay Sapper Center is there. But I haven't met even one. That's how I became a Sapper officer and a Bombay Sapper officer. This is the only organization which is defense-based. Basic task is providing mobility to your own troops, that is bridges, roads, removing any minefields, impediments, blasting thing, and allowing our army to move forward during the operations. And second is denying mobility to the enemy, so that enemy's advancing forces are denied same mobility. And at the end of this, if you are on a defenses, we also take defensive position and then fight like an infantry. The second vertical is called military engineering service, where you do pure build a role for the nation, especially for defense forces. That is houses, roads, runways, ports, manning and maintaining them, electricity, power, sewage systems, you just name it, it is done by this dedicated force. Then we have a third vertical in the Corps of Engineers, it's called Border Road Organization. It was raised in 62. Just before the 62 operation, we realized that we don't have connectivity in the mountains because China is on the other side. In between are about 400 kilometers of Himalayan ranges. Basic task initially was connectivity between various points going to the border and connecting all other villages, towns in route. And the fourth vertical is the Surveyor of India. Though there is a lot of things happening in Survey of India today, but the major survey of India, of all over India, has been done by this survey group, that is with the Corps of Engineers. This combined four facets which is supporting the Indian Defence Forces, not only the Army, is rare anywhere. It is not even the American Army does not have this kind of Corps of Engineers. And I will also add here, if today, having retired from the Corps of Engineers as Major General, somebody tells me, what would you like to join Indian Army again? I'll say again Corps of Engineers. Because if you want to join Indian Army, Corps of Engineers is the place. The way we soldiers move from one place to another, where our children suffer a lot. My son, I know in 12 years, till 12th class, he's changed 12 schools. That is something normally you can't expect it happening to a child, changing so many schools. But knowing the army children, they still do very well. My son is doing well. He's a doctor now posted in Bombay. So that was a major challenge for me. Now retired as general, but then Major is my coach, and I give a lot of credit to him for molding me getting into the sports. 82 Asian Game was a major event, and rowing was the first time being fielded in Asian Games. We started with the normal camps, and we went from India to UK. We had a Mike Spracklin as our designated coach for Asian Game 82. So there were two basic places where we were sure we'll get medal. One was coxless pair, second was coxed pair. So I was in a coxed pair. There's a hell of a lot of pressure on us to win. One wrong stroke could mean no medal. The moment we got bronze medal, and since I knew this is the first medal India had achieved, it was culmination of more than about 8-9 months of training. Even at the finish line, it was a joy which was beyond imaginable or beyond words. I can't put that feeling of that time when I crossed the thing in any words today. And as far as we are concerned, we were just a captain, young captains then who got a medal, and with our families, with small son around you, and the joy is different. The moment I got my medal, I put it on to him. My wife and my son, my sister-in-law was sitting there, they were also watching, so I can't forget that day ever. In 1983, Corps of Engineer expedition to Nanda Devi had failed, and Corps of Engineer has never ever failed for any of the activities. That is what is Corps known for. So we sent as a proposal as a separate adventure foundation, which is associated with the all adventure activities. We worked on that. Nanda Devi is not an easy mountain. It's a very difficult mountain to climb. So there was a need to be thoroughly researched on the mountain itself. To the extent spoke to all people who had been to the Nanda Devi or who had worked anywhere near in any of the expedition in Nanda Devi. So having done the homework, and when we said we will go there, and the promptly thing came, because you cannot go because Nanda Devi is closed. The reason why it is closed was because it is a biosphere, and the inside area is non-approachable by any human being. So therefore there is a need to make it as a bio-ecological expedition, where we had a lot of scientists with us who came there to see what are the impact of various fauna and flora during these 13 years when it was blocked. Colonel Ashwin Bandur was there, who was tasked to get the garbage out. And then there was the last part of it, asset was to climb the mountain. So government finally gave us sanction to go. Invariably, all expedition going to Nanda Devi had an accident. The last expedition of Para's brigade expedition to Nanda Devi in 1983 had 5 casualties on this mountain. So on the first day, on the first bridge which we had made, because they were log bridges, they used to sway. We had one porter going down because the gas cylinder was on his back, it took it off and went. Why does army do expeditions? See, expedition is not just climbing a mountain. It's like when you go for a war, unless all of us are together, the enemy will easily break you. So expedition of these natures make you depend on each other, and leadership quality comes in. And the leadership quality is what makes you much more stronger in the time of adverse condition. What is the adverse condition? When you reach the extreme heights, your mental conditions become so extremely tough, difficult to hold. It is those times when you can control yourself and yet be sober and perform your job is what is taught only by mountaineering. From the summit camp, we were 6 of us to start the summit top, of which 4 of us were the officers and 2 were our men. Out of them, 1 was our assistant. And as per the normal teaching is that you will not touch the old rope at all, because it may have weathered, it may have come out of the thing. If you touch it, it will go down, and with that you will also go down. Luckily, just before that, I had already put in a piton and put my rope through there. So I rolled down by about 20 feet. At that altitude, you cannot carry your load. So the alternative with me was either to stay there only die, or second was I had to go up. I said there was just no way. And I thank rowing and the rowing training which I had received. And that because my legs and arms are very strong, I pulled myself up and I was able to come up. And the summit, as I was told, will be a rocky top. It was a flat top of about 80 meters by 30 to 40 meters with snow field there. So I reached there and I waited, and that was a joy I can never forget. I immediately kneeled down and thanked the God. Since invariably in mountain, The strongest is the first to lead when you're going up, and he's the last to when he's coming down. That's why I was bringing that here. So I used to keep pushing my colleague mountaineers to move down, move down, move down. And they were so tired and fatigued, and the altitude, as you know, the hallucination starts. They were wanting to light fire, have water, sit down for some time. Whereas I knew sitting down means death. At that altitude is nothing else but the death which is waiting for you. So I kept on pushing them, abusing them, move, 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 move. And I must tell you, at once or twice thought came to me, let me leave them. Well, it's a question of staying with them and dying, or surviving yourself. At least I will say I would survive. But that is why the army training comes. Army training, and having been paratrooper, you never leave your people behind. Unlike many expeditions where the Americans have left their colleagues behind and come down, Indian Army, they will never do it because they know the value of their colleague, and that training was there with me. So because of that constant push from me, we were successfully able to reach back. See, in 2000, Sydney Olympics, Indian performance was very bad. And I remember I was told that that time Prime Minister Mr. Bajpayee called then Army Chief and told him specifically, besides you do what Army does, I want you to also train Indians for Olympic, and next 8 years we want Olympic medal. So with this as a target given to the Army Chief by the Prime Minister, they decided to form an Army Sports Institute with 10 disciplines of sports. Now these events had been picked up with the aim that we stand as Indians with our body structure, stand a chance to win medal in these events. That was a thing. And you have been selected as first commandant to man Army Sports Institute. And the target I was given was simply that this is your funds. You have to construct Army Sports Institute full and collect people to train in this institute, including coaches. Well, I had to do virtually everything. But one thing they had given me, full hand, go to MS1 and pick up your team. By 2003, the ASI buildings were ready, and they are today also one of the best sports complex anywhere in Asia. With every kind of facility, name it, it is there. Colonel Rathore, it was because of the push given to this Mission Olympics that he was our first silver medalist in 2004 Olympics. And I, without doubt, saying, had my wife not been not on my left side but on my right side, I will say on my right side, that I would have reached this level, because it's in Army, definitely in Army, wife plays a major role. See, having retired, I should be thankful to the Indian Army that they had made me civil engineer, and a quality civil engineer. So I was picked up by L&T and put me as a senior advisor L&T. I got a call once from the chairman, Salvan Group of School. They want me to be the chairman for their girls' school. The school is aided school. It's for poor people. It's for first learners. So that is the time I decided, okay, no, this is where I have to give back to the society. So what do I give back to the society? I said, okay, I'm willing to take it on. I remember when it came out in the newspaper, the first Muslim general from Kashmir Valley. Initially took me by surprise. I said, Muslim general, why Muslim? Why should you use this word Muslim? But then I said, there is a reason to it. Definitely, I am the first, and people have to come up and be many more generals and lieutenant generals, and maybe tomorrow we produce army commander and a chief from Kashmir Valley. It is possible. It's not something which cannot be done. And the reason I found is we need to tackle militancy and not the militant. I find even after so many years, we are still tackling militant and not militancy. So I decided, what is it I, as a Kashmiri general, who is also an engineer, can do to tackle militancy. because I did the analysis of the area from where I come, Tral area, that how many people are there in the army, armed forces, all Navy, Air Force, Army, CRPF, BSF, all combined, and it's a huge number. And at the same time, this is a place which is full of militants. So what is the cause? If this place is producing such top class people, including general like me, it's also producing militants. Why? So my only conclusion came that if you give every child a job which is assured to him, he will not fight as a militant. Instead of throwing stone, use the stone for building. So that is what I have been doing for years. That is possible by getting the jobs, getting the training of skill training into the valley. I have spoken to the present CM also, the previous CM also, that we need skilled people trained and jobbed in valley. And it is possible. And I am 100% sure if it is done in the next 5 years, there will be no militancy in Kashmir. Well, the message what I will give to the nation is, our beautiful nation has a strength in its diversity of nature, of ecology, of flora, fauna, of traditions, of values, of religion, of language, of weather. Anything you see, it is there in India, and this is what unites us, and this is what keeps us together. This diversity is our beauty. The beauty of India is its diversity. Let's all get together and ensure this nation's beauty, this diversity of this nation remains as it is.